Welcome back live from Cornwall Park here for the Auckland Rugby League Women in League round as we get our technical stuff sorted, turning the microphones back on. It's harder than it seems sometimes, so hopefully we can hear everyone. But a really good start to the day here. We're seeing a good clash between Otara and Richmond, probably low scoring as the conditions would kind of suggest it was going to be. But Richmond so far, some really nice classy touches from a few of their players. We are lacking a kicking tee, so we've got the old school restart about to happen. But about to get back underway for the second 20 minutes of this one, and if you have just joined us, it's a 9-a-side format for this one, under 17 women's. It's a new pilot scheme. I think it started with only 3 teams this year, has progressed to 6, which is awesome to see clubs getting involved and offering girls not only an alternative to college footy if it's not available at their school, but also something to go along with college footy. With the school games played during the week, you could play club and school, just like the guys get the opportunity to. So a big ups to the Auckland Rugby League for introducing schemes like this, and the college rugby league for the girls is growing as well. We've seen kind of, I guess, the traditional girls that traditional schools, I should say, that have been involved, but hopefully start to break down a few of those barriers and get a few more girls involved, particularly over on the North Shore and out west. So great to see as we head back to this one, and we are joined in commentary by Kiwi Ferns squad members Maddie Bartlett and Georgia Hale. And the girls helping us with the call for the first one here. Georgia's going to be in action later on. Maddie out injured. So great to have their expert analysis on board. It's probably a nice change for you from listening to myself and Troy Hardy muffle on, pretend we know what we're talking about. We've got some actual footy players this time to, I guess, break down some of the analysis stuff. And Troy Hardy behind me is blowing up. I'm not too happy about that one. But we've got our own unique appeal, I guess, Troy, and we get by. If you have just joined us for the first time in the live stream, you see a nice breakout there on the left, and just the final touch lacking a little bit there for the Scorpions. They did press hard towards the back end of that half, and looks likely. But if you are just joining us for the first live stream, we'll be bringing you games all year, free to air on the Auckland Rugby League. Join in from anywhere in the world on your smartphone, laptop, and next week we'll be bringing you a big SAS Fox Memorial Premiership clash between the Point Chevrolet Pirates and Mount Albert Lions. Looking forward to that one. But in the meantime, plenty of Women in League action to get through here. And girls, I guess, to get your kind of thoughts on that game, starting with you, Maddie, how did you kind of see that game unfolding in the first half? I know we were talking a fair bit, but it looked like the Richmond girls were pretty well on top.
Yeah, they've been playing awesome. It's a bit hard with the weather. It did pour down, so that caused a few errors. But they're a very fit team. They are quite classy. You can see Isla going there again. She's been awesome for the first half. I think she went over twice. But no, they've got some good skill out there, so looking forward to when they can join our team.
Yeah, and can confirm young Isla's had some really nice touches in that one. I think scored out here on the right with a nice little bit of footwork and some good ball skills as well. And good to see the girls carrying the ball both hands, really keeping those options open. So clearly some good coaching going on down there at Richmond now as we see a break out on the edge. And again, just that last bit of execution lacking for the girls on that occasion. There's been a couple of tries probably go begging, but good to see end-to-end rugby league here and the girls making some good yardage through the middle. Georgia, we're going to put you under the pump now and ask what do the Scorpions need to do to kind of get back into this one? Give us all your best game analysis. What do the girls need to get back into this one?
To be honest, they're going forward really, really well. Their big girls are making some great meters up the middle. So if they just are safe with the ball, you know, the conditions aren't great, it's muddy, it's wet, you know, if they just keep things tight, I'm sure, you know, they'll work themselves down the field and hopefully cross the line. You know, we play for Richmond, but I think, you know, for today and for the women's game, it's just awesome to see these young girls playing, putting on the strip each week and going out there with so much heart.
A big hello to Selwyn Pearson, who's joined us behind us now. No doubt Sel will be really loving this day, a firm believer in, I guess, getting kids involved in rugby league and learning some of the disciplines involved in that and turning good footy players into good human beings. How's that for a tagline? Auckland Rugby League, you can have that one if you want it. Here as you see young Isla out of dummy half again. Boy, she's been damaging so far in this game. And some of these Richmond girls really showing some great skills. Otara holding out so far as the rain starts to come down once again here at Cornwall Park. Later on we'll be bringing you Point Chevrolet versus Manukau in, I guess, the second curtain raiser game to the big one. We'll see Richmond taking on Manurewa, and Richmond top of the table right now with Rewa in second. The ladder is a little distorted. I think Richmond have played a few more games than Manurewa, and don't quote my accuracy on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. We'll bring you a full ladder for the girls' women's competition later on in the day. But just on the season, I guess, Georgia, you'd be best to start with, given that Maddie will have missed most of the season. But are you pretty happy with how the Richmond team's going so far in terms of your goals for the season as a club?
Yeah, absolutely. I think each week, you know, we've grown as a team and progressed. You know, slowly we've got to the point now where we're getting pretty good numbers at training most weeks. It just needs to keep happening. Unfortunately, Bay Roskill weren't able to put together their women's team like they have done in previous years. So we were fortunate enough to have a couple of those girls come over. So we've got a great mix of girls. Yeah, just really hoping to finish in the top two and have that final at Mount Smart later in the season. That's the ultimate goal, and you know, then obviously looking to take it out.
And Maddie, the women's competition has been pretty well dominated by Rewa and Papakura in the last few years. I think they will have made the last, 3 or 4 finals from memory, and they've kind of had a mortgage on that. How much is there kind of a burning desire to kind of stop that and kind of get Richmond's name up there?
Oh, huge. I mean, for us, I think the last three years we've unfortunately lost to Manurewa in the semi-finals. So every year it's huge for Richmond. We just want to come out and I guess make that final. So every year we've got something to prove. And the girls, we're doing awesome, I think. We're pretty consistent at the moment, so that's awesome for us. But yeah, it's huge. I think if you ask any of our girls, they'll definitely want to be making the final. But we were really lucky. So we had quite a few girls from Richmond fortunately make the Akarana side. So we're starting to really click. We've had a lot of experience together now. So yeah, I think this might be the year for us.
I was going to say on that, it would be nice to have an Akarana versus counties, you know, final. So an Akarana club team versus the counties final. Yeah, we're sick of watching the counties girls go at it. Just saying.
So back to the action here now as Richmond pushing pretty hard up on the line here. Nice little kick in behind. It's just going to beat everyone over the sideline past the Sports Safe banner here. And a big shout out to Gym Leader, one of our fantastic sponsors who at the pre-season bring you the Sports Safe ARL9s every year. It's been an excellent addition to the calendar. Again, we spoke earlier in the first half about 9s being a really good entry point to the game, particularly for some smaller players. Much like my 2 commentating partners here who, I dare say, give up a little bit of size in the head-to-head collisions when they take the field. But rugby league is a game for all sizes. And you can see today, obviously, Richmond probably given away a little bit in the size category against the Scorpions, but some of those skills are sweet. A bit of a high shot up high there. Play on is the call. Some of the girls looking a little bit tired now as we approach kind of midway through the second point of this half. One thing that has been of note in this game has been the ball retention. It's really wet out here at Cornwall Park. There's mud everywhere, but the ball retention's been pretty good. I guess that's going to be a kind of key point for the rest of the day here as well. Just see a nice break down the middle by the Otara fullback. And they're going to go all the way, so the Scorpions are on the board with a dramatic dive at the end as well, which the camera crew will have appreciated. So the Scorpions on the board as we wait for confirmation from our referee, Patrice Kesher, who is going to have just a little chat to the lino to check that one was all good. And we are good to go, so the Scorpions over in the corner, so it will be Richmond 8, Otara 4. And we've got about 17 minutes remaining in this one. And Maddie, that one just as a fullback, I guess you can appreciate that one. A nice little hole run there. Perhaps Serena Clark-esque. but some nice skills there, and I guess good vision from the Scorpions girls there to find the gap.
Yeah, definitely she found the gap and took it, and she definitely showed her pace. I know that the girl that was chasing her, Isla, she's not slow, so she definitely hit the gas on that one, so well done to her.
And one thing you do notice when you, I guess, pay a little bit of attention to some of the women's and girls competitions is how many of these athletes are kind of multi-code kind of athletes. And you know, I know that a number of the girls kind of might do boxing or also represent their region in rugby union as well. Even looking at the team list for this one, there's a number of national tag representatives. We've got a couple of New Zealand tag representatives and the Richmond girls, a Cook Islands tag rep, also Auckland hockey, Auckland netball. that seems to be a real kind of feature of the game. What were some of the sports you guys played kind of growing up that kind of led to you playing league? Starting with you, Georgia.
Yeah, I guess as a young girl it was more like netball and gymnastics. My mum wasn't really too keen on the contact sports. She liked me in a leotard or a pleated skirt. But I guess as I started playing touch and tag, you know, like I said before, a lot of those girls did play rugby or league. And so I guess just making friends with them and, you know, enjoying, you know, the touch and tag, it was like, oh, what to next? And it was, you know, a bit of school girls rugby, and then it led to league, which I absolutely love.
And for yourself, Maddie, what were sort of the sports that you played, I guess, through high school and even earlier?
I think the biggest one, was netball. I guess all mums kind of push for their girls to jump on the netball court. But at high school, I was trying to play absolutely everything and anything. We always had sports day, so the more sports you played, the more time you got to have off school. No, but I was touch was a big one, and then when tag started to come into it, I jumped on the tag scene, and it was cool because lots of those skills were transferable to league, so it made it a little bit easier to come. You just had to get used to the contact, which was one of the hardest things.
I think even if you look at the kind of elite levels of women's rugby league, I think within the Gillaroos side, I forget her name, but I think it might be Malia, is a former kind of top level sprinting athlete. I think it was the fullback for the Gillaroos. So good to see kind of, I guess, ladies who maybe haven't made it in another sport coming through and giving rugby league a try, and we see it obviously overseas as well with some of the girls that play American football also playing rugby league in places like Canada as well, where there's a real big push to get women involved. So really good to see rugby league as a kind of legitimate option, and I guess most high-level contact athletes go into rugby because there's the lure of the sevens. Do you guys kind of feel a little bit of pressure for that? There's obviously, you know, there's a world tour for the sevens. It's a fair bit more high profile right now. Georgia, do you ever feel a little bit of pressure that, hey, maybe if I want to make the most of my time in the contact sport, that I'm best to go to rugby union for a little while?
To be honest, you know, I don't really think money is a factor. You know, I think you ask any lady that plays league, and you know they're not really willing to change codes because there's just way too much love for the game.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, we have nines now, and so that that faster paced game and you know more room on the paddock kind of allows that. So for me, no, I think I'm going to stick with league for now and just enjoy my time in the game because that's where my passion lies.
And of course the NRL has done some really cool stuff to, I guess, boost the profile and make sure that our ladies are given an elite pathway, and the Nines is a big one there. You can be on live Sky TV streamed you know, around the world and kind of see your talents noticed on that stage, and also big crowds there as well. So yet to see what's going to happen with the NRL Auckland Nines next year. It's obviously a pretty packed calendar for rugby league when you factor in the World Cup, which is going to go through until about December, both the men's and women's comp. And then looking into next year, you've still got to fit in things like the All-Stars fixture, the Indigenous clash, and at some point people need to have a little break and rest the bodies. So yet to see what's going to happen there, but no doubt there will be some sort of elite pathway for the women's game as well. As we see a nice break here from Otara, and they're really starting to wrestle back the momentum in this one. It was all Richmond in the first half, but just late in the piece, Otara started to put on a little bit of pressure, and we see here now finding a couple of gaps in this tiring Richmond line. Pressed right up against the line now, and don't be surprised if you see Otara kind of head towards the left edge at some point in this one. It's looking like they might have a bit of a numbers advantage out there, but in the meantime darting over to the right. Must be very close to the line as we look down at our monitor here, and a big thank you to the team from CTAS bringing us the vision today, Grant and the team. Of course, we have been bringing you live streams all throughout the year, but the Scorpions go through, and I hear a bit of a groan from my two Richmond commentating partners there as Otara go through to level scores, and they're going to have a kick in front and a chance to take the lead. But there, Maddie, just looked a little bit like the Richmond girls probably starting to tire a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Otara does have the size on them, but the Richmond girls do look like they're starting to tire out a bit. I mean, they were doing a lot of running in the first half, but yeah, if they're going to look to take this game, they're going to need to dig deep for this last 8 minutes, I think there is.
Just on that, you know, Richmond are doing a lot of attack, but come defence, they really need to just front up, and just there they let Otara through. So, you know, even at Rose's level, at the women's level, you know, we always have the motto that defence is more important. So hopefully the Richmond girls just get their line back and tighten up. But yeah, nice try from Otara.
And I guess you see that at all levels of the game, don't you? It's kind of easy to get excited when you got the ball, but a little bit harder to get up for that. So, of course, that's always a kind of big part of this one. So, Some good analysis there from Georgia, just, I guess, suggesting that the Richmond team need to find a little bit of a lift off the ball, perhaps, increase the talk a little bit, as Otara now draw even at 8 points all. And we've got around about 10 minutes remaining in this one, I think. Our clock's a little bit out on the official match manager's clock, but in fact it'll be about 7 minutes remaining, I think, in this one. So getting to crunch time here in the opening game of the live stream here at Cornwall Park for the Auckland Rugby League Women and League round. And it's been a really good game, some good skills on display, and also we mentioned earlier the ball retention's been impressive considering the conditions now as Richmond make a break out there on the right. Some good scramble from Otara to contain them, about 20 metres off the line now, so a real test here for the Scorpions. They've had it their way the last few minutes, and we start to hear the talk increasing for the Richmond girls. A few players now directing traffic as Isla now darts out of dummy half, a little dribble still going here. There's a chance for the try, and I think she's gone over. That's an excellent try there for the Richmond girls as Patrice Kesher points to the spot, but some excellent skills there from Isla Norman-Bell. I think that's her third try of the match as well, so just absolutely ripping it up down that right edge. But some good thinking on her feet there, probably, Maddie. The ball loose on the ground, probably not going to be able to pick it up at speed, so good presence of mind just to dribble the ball through and dive on it in goal.
Yeah, definitely. She looks like she came from some soccer with those skills. No, that was awesome. It would have been probably quite hard for her. She had a couple of defenders on her back, so and especially with it being wet, it was probably a good option for her to try and kick it through the touchline.
So we wait for the kick to come, and it's not really a day for goal kickers. There's a bit of breeze around and very slippery and muddy, so hard to get the footing, but Richmond to kick and potentially go 6 in front with about 5 minutes remaining here in this under-17 nines clash. And it's low and short, so the score will remain Richmond 12, Otara 18. And Georgia, what's the kind of feeling you get for this game now? Where's it going, and who's in control?
I think it could be anyone's game. You see where Richmond just darted down the sideline there. One of the Otara girls put on a really, really nice hit, and that Richmond girl actually found it quite hard to come back. So, to be honest, I think these last few minutes are going to be really crucial. It's anyone's game for the taking. Otara have got size, but they're definitely still in it. So it'll just be who can hold the ball longer and, I guess, make their tackles.
Otara, yeah, they've been putting on some massive contact hits. They've got some good defense, and I think it's quite hard. I mean, you forget that they've only got 9 on the field, so a lot of the time they're expected to make one-on-one tackles, whereas when we play, we've got an extra 4 players, so we're always going into contact with 2 players. So, yeah, they're doing awesome to make those one-on-one tackles.
So, speaking of one-on-one tackles, a huge hit there from Richmond, and it's allowed them to regather the ball. And now it is an advantage Richmond as they push for another try, which would probably close it out, you would think, as we head into the final few minutes there.
Getting up slowly.
The sideline's definitely getting into this game. Those Richmond supporters on the hill bringing a lot of heart.
So play on the call at this stage. A bit of a broken line here. They've got numbers out towards the left. Richmond, ball's gone to ground, spilled out. I think we've got play on at this stage. And so we wait for confirmation from our referee Patrice Kesher on what's happened there. I think we're going to have Scorpions play the ball. So Otara, they need to get down the other end of the field. They need to do it quickly as we approach the final couple of minutes of this one. Do stay with us post-match. We are going to have Maddie and Georgia interview the coaches, make their journalist debuts as well. So
just looking around, it's real awesome to see how many supporters are down here as well. There's heaps of people down here watching. So that's really cool for the women's game.
Yeah, not just on our field, but on the far field as well. A lot of supporters around, you know, people have brought out their banners, and they're not shy to raise their voices.
Definitely not. It's cool to see some of the girls that are going to play later on as well. There's some girls down here supporting, and a couple of our Richmond girls that have come from Bay, they're down here to support their, they were down here earlier supporting the younger girls when they played in the previous game. So that was real cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you make. And how much do you guys kind of, I guess, acknowledge the fact that, you know, as well as being players and doing your own thing, you're also kind of role models for these girls? And I guess, you know, is that constantly in the back of your mind, Georgia, that, you know, you need to stay involved with these girls and kind of show them the way a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think sport is just such a great tool, regardless of the game, for, you know, young people growing up. And, you know, obviously if you're playing league, all the better. You know, it's nice that these young Richmond girls do look up to us as Kiwi Ferns, but as Richmond Roses. Richmond is such a fantastic club, and it's just an awesome opportunity for these girls to put on the Richmond strip as well at their age. So, yeah, absolutely love watching it.
And Maddie, I guess looking across the ditch at what some of the Aussie girls are doing, and I know you probably don't really want to compliment the Aussies too much, but I guess people like Rowan Sims, who's becoming not just a woman's figurehead for the sport, but a figurehead in general because she's appearing on mainstream shows, doing a lot of really good stuff. It must be really kind of proud for you guys to watch that and see that those girls kind of making a name for themselves over there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, from when we were younger, especially with the NRL, we're always looking up to boys that we want to be like. But it's awesome for younger girls to start to have some girls that are doing awesome, or women I should say, awesome, doing really well that we can start to look up to. So yeah, the likes of Ruan. And it's awesome to have the opportunity for her to be on mainstream TV as well. It does. It gives someone for these younger girls to look up to.
See a little Burrow out of dummy half there, and just short is the call, I think. We might have actually found a knock on in there. So Richmond very close to sealing the deal there, but just short, and I think we're into probably the last minute of this one. Our match clock will be possibly a little bit out of sync with the match manager's clock. There's obviously a few stoppages happen in rugby league that we can't always keep on top of, but there or thereabouts, it is make or break time here for the Scorpions, and they need something, and no doubt the word will be going out from the trainer here that they've got to make it happen. And as we say that, a little kick dribbled through, and it's a good chase from the Scorpions. Ball has spilt loose. Looks like Richmond have recovered it, and that might be the ball game. Plenty of pats on back going on there. Siren goes in the background, and Richmond are going to win this one and open the day with a victory, one that they hope will be the first of a couple today as we go later on in the day. And look at that, pure joy from the Richmond girls, and they know they're on the big stage, they're live streamed, no doubt there'll be plenty of family and friends watching at home, and really happy to get that win. So do stay with us. We are going to bring you interviews with the coaches, with both Maddie and Georgia interviewing a couple of the coaches from that game. So do stay with us, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. You want mine?
Hey guys, so obviously an awesome win out there today. Congratulations on the win. How did you guys think overall that you guys went today?
Oh, it was quite faultless. The girls, we told them go out there, believe in yourselves. Okay, we played this team before, we knew what to expect. We just said have faith in each other, and they went out there and, mate, what more can you ask for? I lost my voice basically, so it just goes to show how much the girls wanted it more, So it was a good game. Otara put up a good fight, but our girl, it's believing, It's all confidence and believing, and that's what our girls done today.
And did you think that the weather had a little bit of an impact today? It did pour down a couple of times, so how did that impact the team?
Yeah, look, the field, obviously it's raining all weekend. The field's pretty hard to run on, but I guess we're all both playing on the same field, so it's pretty neutral. But in saying that, yeah, I've lost my voice too. But yeah, look, it was a great game. These guys are pretty much top of the table. So I guess for our guys, it was like, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. And so big ups to Otara. But today our girls turned up and they believed in themselves. That's what it was all about. Yeah, so really awesome.
So obviously a great game by all of Richmond, but I would like to say that Isla had a pretty awesome game out there. She went across the line with 3 tries. So what do you think about that one?
Oh, Isla, she's competitive. She knows her role. She does it good. She's got a good surrounding by her other teammates in there, and they help her out. And then she just guides and does what she needs to do. So yeah, she's an awesome performer. Well played from her.
And so lastly, coming to the back end of the season, so what are you guys going to do from here?
Look, we're going to build on from today. Clearly, obviously, the momentum sort of swung our way, but we've got a couple of key players also out. So we're looking forward to having them back. But, you know, the girls that took the field today, awesome effort. So, look, as you said, Isla, she's a special person. And obviously in those tough times, it takes a special person to make some special moments. So, look, she scored 3 tries and made some good decisions. Big ups to her, really good leader.
Well, once again, congratulations on the win and good luck for the rest of the season. Are you guys going to stick around for the big game this afternoon?
For sure, definitely got to support our girls, man, our Roses.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is their future, our under-17s in that. Hopefully a lot of them will be coming up, so awesome.
Awesome, guys. Thanks again and congratulations on the win.
Thanks very much.
Maddie.
Cheers.
Thanks, Georgia. Good luck, eh?
Hi, Georgia Hale here, ARL TV. I'm with Agnes here, the Otara Scorpions coach. Your thoughts on the game today?
It was a really awesome game between Richmond and our girls today. Girls were probably a little bit rusted from not having a game for the last 4 weeks. The other teams have sort of defaulted against us, and in saying that, the result today didn't turn out the way we wanted it. It was our first loss today against Richmond, but way to go, Richmond. They've been gunning for us since the beginning of the season, so it was really awesome. We had an awesome go forward in the beginning, and our structure sort of like fell apart a little bit after that, but there's always playoffs coming up, semis and finals, so it'd be good to, you know, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned before defaults. I noticed out there on the on the field, Otara had a lot of punch. Why do you think it is that other teams have not wanted to come up against your girls?
Well, look at them. We're naturally born and bred from Otara, the food that we eat. Good genetics also as well, most important, but natural talent out in South Auckland. Heaps of natural talent, heaps out there, and my goal is to basically try and develop future star Kiwi ferns from Otara.
That is awesome. And I guess last question for you, what are you hoping to do with your girls for the rest of the season? Looking to obviously be in the final at the end?
Most definitely, that is our long-term goal, is to obviously try and win and take it out, but most importantly is to keep that bond together, that team structure, trusting each other and sort of staying together, build and develop from there. I mean, that's how any teams, especially teams like Papakura and Manarua, who have always taken up the women's grades in the past, you know, sort of like picking up from that and going with that as well, starting up really young, staying together, building from there, developing and moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Agnes, for your time and good luck for the rest of the season. Joining me here now is Imogen, one of our touch sideline refs. How was your game today?
It was pretty good. My first time doing it, and I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, you looked really, really confident. Do you want to tell everyone how old you are?
I'm 10.
10. And why refereeing? What got you into it?
Well, I just like to be in charge, so I just thought it would be fun to just kind of do that, and I like to be close up with the game to just see how everything's going with the...
Cool. And last question for you, not just refereeing, but would you like to play for maybe the Richmond Roses one day or the Kiwi Ferns?
Yeah, both of them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time and well done on your game today.